Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining. Hi. Oh, brilliant. So my name is Grace and I'm one of the admissions operations managers here at Generation. And then I'll be taking you through our Q&A and information session today for our upcoming data engineering program. So just a reminder, there is a chat function for everyone to use if you have any questions along the way. Please do be mindful of everyone else who are also using the chat function. So please be respectful of other people in the comments section. But if you have any questions at any point, please do pop them in there and I'll make sure to get around to them. So yeah, this is for our upcoming data engineering program, which is due to start on the 4th of February next year. So I'll take you through a bit today around who Generation are, an insight into data engineering, the mentor support that we will offer you during the program, and also next steps and how to be successful within your application. So we'll start off with a brief intro into who Generation are. So we are Generation UK and Ireland. We launched in 2015 and we train and place learners into life-changing careers that would otherwise be inaccessible. So we're currently operating in 17 countries across the world and counting. So far we have placed over 110,000 graduates into full-time roles, and we currently work with over 3,000 employer and partners. Out of those 110,000 people who have been placed into roles, 84% of our graduates outperform their peers in productivity and quality outcomes as well. And we work really closely with our employers, before, during and after the programs to ensure that learners are trained and given the correct skills to really make sure that they flourish in their roles and succeed as well. So here's just an insight into some of the employers that we do work with. So we work with a lot of big names that you've probably heard of. For data engineering, some of the ones that I'd like to bring your attention to are Accenture and Infinity Works as well. But here you can see that there's a huge amount of employers that we work with across the UK. And a real takeaway from this is, data engineering roles are not just limited to data companies. Big companies like cancer research and the government handle large amounts of data, and therefore they have the need for data engineers. So there's a ton of opportunity for data engineers and across the employers that we do work with. So I've got a bit of a quiz for everyone on today's session. So I'd like you to put the answer into the chat function if you're able to. And the question is, how much data do you think will be created in 2025? Do you think it's A, 152 petabytes, so that is with 15 zeros at the end of that, B, 35 exabytes, and that is with 18 zeros, or C, 181 zettabytes, which is 21 zeros at the end of that. So pop in the chat box if you think the answer is A, B, or C. I'll give you a couple minutes to do so. We're getting a couple answers through now. So we've had a suggestion of B. Does anyone else have any, what they think potentially could be the answer to this? So how much data do we think will be created in 2025? So we've got B. So actually the answer is C. So it's 181 zettabytes, and that is with 21 zeros at the end of that. You can see why I've not written it out on the screen, because that is a lot of zeros. So that is actually around a 23% increase from 2024, and we're seeing it year on year that the amount of data that is being created each year is increasing about 20% each year. So it really shows the sheer amount of data being created in the world, and hence the need for professionals as well who know how to manage that data as well. And this further illustrates that for you, just how much data is being created within the world. And you can see here that 2025 is the biggest year yet. And we anticipate this this trajectory increasing year on year. So next 2026 and beyond, likely to keep increasing, as does the need for professionals who are able to manage that data. So where does a data engineer role fit within a data team? So the main distinction lies in their focus within that data ecosystem. So data scientists, you can think of more of the strategists. So they use advanced analytics to extract insights and value from data. They predict trends and drive organizational decisions as well. They normally work with data that's already been prepared by engineers. So they focus on the future and forward planning within organizations. Whereas data engineers, you can think of more as the architects. They build and manage the infrastructure and systems that gather the raw data, making sure that it's ready for use by others and the wider team. They focus more on the back end of that data journey and set up a system to collect the data. And then data analysts, you can think of them more of the communicators. So they transform and visualize data to make it understandable and actionable for stakeholders. So they focus typically on current and historical data. So essentially, engineers prepare the data, scientists explore it deeply, and then analysts present it clearly. So you may be asking yourself, where potentially can a data engineer role take me? So at the start, you'll likely start here. So our junior data engineer, and typically we're seeing starting salaries between £25,000 to £30,000 a year. And at the start, the role will initially focus on maintenance, cleaning data, carrying out simpler requests, and it's a really good chance for you to understand the systems inside and out. And as you progress, you'll take more of a lead on the deep thinking tasks. So how to actually design and build the systems themselves. And this involves a lot of technical skill, which you'll continually be developing. Starting your career in the tech sector as a data engineer doesn't always mean that you have to stay in that role forever. And there's a few different directions that you can take. So if you do stay within the data engineering zone, you can become highly specialized within your field. So you can equally take on a management role as well, so lead a team of engineers, or you could progress more towards the data science or analyst side. So once you get into data science, that's when you'll start being involved with things like machine learning and AI. And an analyst is in charge of interpreting the data that's available. So you spot patterns and trends and use these to inform your company strategy. You can also get more involved in the business side of things. So go into a business analyst role or a product owner or project manager. So there's lots and lots of opportunity within the data engineering sector. In all cases, the earning potential a few years into your career is significant. So according to Glassdoor, a senior level data engineer can expect to earn around £65,000 on average. So you can really see here, as you progress and as you become more specialised and potentially go into management of teams, that earning potential really does skyrocket. So you may be asking yourself, is data engineering for me? So here are some of the key skills and mindsets that we think are key, and we look out for someone during the process. So you may be someone who is excited by data and the potential it has to solve real world problems. You may enjoy a varied and interesting workload. You're motivated by problem solving. You're not always just thinking of plan A, you're also thinking about plan B, thinking outside of the box. You may have a close eye for detail, be proactive, like working within a supportive team, and tech is the future, and it's a sector that's continually developing. But you may not be sure exactly where you want to begin your career, but hopefully this shows you a little bit that you don't have to have heaps of technical knowledge to join this course. Generation are really looking for potential and people with those transferable skills who are looking to develop their career in tech. And then a bit more about the data engineering program that we're running then. So the start date of the program is the 4th of February next year. It will run for 12 weeks in total, and it is from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. during those 12 weeks. As we are a charity, it is completely free of cost to everyone who enrolls on the programme. And what are the benefits to you? So alongside, free training and free qualification, and online learning with a live instructor who is a real, expert in their field, can really answer your questions and really set you up for success within the real world environment, the real working world. You also get access to one-to-one mentoring. You get the chance to connect with employers. If you are in need of a laptop or internet access during the programme, that is something that we can provide you. And you can continue to receive any benefits during the programme. So to be eligible for the programme, you'll need to be over the age of 19, a resident in the UK or EEA for the last 3 years, not currently in education, training or work. So the idea is that you're not completing a university degree or a full-time job alongside, as the course is Monday to Friday, 9 AM till 5 PM. If you are working a 0 hours contract or a part-time contract, up to about 16 hours, we think that is okay, just as long as it's not within those the programme hours, as I mentioned. You'll need to have the legal right to work and live within the UK, and also available for the full 12 weeks of the programme, and potentially available to start a full-time job upon completion. So what does life in the classroom look like? It's a real mix between delivery of the programme content and then also employability support alongside. So it's completely online, so it will take place over Teams. It's instructor-led. There's a lot of group sessions, as well as self-study. The programme involves 2 presentations as well, which we'll go into in a little bit more detail shortly. And you get that employability support alongside, so there'll be a number of employability sessions. You'll get help with your CV, personal bios, interview support, mock interviews, connections to hiring employers, and also support for that transition into employment. And this is a brief overview of what a typical day in our classroom looks like. So you'll start off in the morning with a login, so to report any absence, a daily opening, so a chance for you to connect with the instructors, with everyone else on the course as well. You would then go into the delivery of the programme, so you'll learn a new technical topic. As you can see, there are a few breaks throughout the day. You'll then go into a more collaborative learning style, so it may involve breakout rooms, interactive sessions, role plays, etc. And then following on, you'll go into behavioural skills and mindset sessions, along with employability sessions, before wrapping up for the day on any closing sessions. So hopefully what you can see here is that it's a real collaboration of collaborative learning styles along with individual study as well. And we do these daily openings and a lot of breakout rooms, etc., to really emphasize the importance of community building at the beginning of the course and throughout as well. So it won't feel like school or a lecture. There's lots of interactive sessions, and it's instructor-led content as well. So you'll get the chance to ask any questions to your instructor throughout, and you'll get a really close relationship with them, and hopefully really get a great grasp of what data engineering looks like, and what a potential role in data engineering can involve. So our curriculum is a real mix of those technical skills, so database fundamentals, programming languages including Python, SQL, as well as Agile and Scrum methodology. So it's not just these technical skills that we'll be teaching you, but there's also a mindset part to the programme as well. So just personal responsibility, growth mindset, future orientation and persistence as well, along with behaviours as well. So communication, proactiveness, teamwork and adaptability. And it is a mix between these behaviours, mindsets and technical skills, which will really help you get set up for a potential role within the data engineering field, and really set you up for success as well, to know exactly what a real life role will involve and will look like as well. And here's a brief overview of what the curriculum looks like. So you can see that from weeks 1 to 6, a lot of the learning is introductions to the roles, to programming, and that's where you'll be learning Python and SQL. There's also times that where you'll be learning about data persistence, encoding, source control, unit testing, data visualization, before moving on to about at the halfway point of the program, you'll deliver your first mini project. So you'll be doing this individually, but there's lots of time for collaboration with other people on the course. And then from week 7 to 12 is where you'll delve a little bit deeper into those course contents. So introduction to Agile, you'll look at data cleansing, warehousing, data streams, etc. And then finally, on week 12, you'll be delivering your final presentation, which will be delivered as a group in front of the instructor, cohort, and guests as well. So a bit around mentoring support. So I mentioned at the beginning of today's session that there's a big emphasis on mentor support and really supporting you to make sure that you succeed within the program. So we have a number of professional mentors who specialise in supporting adult learning experiences. So a lot of this is around motivation, goal setting, pastoral care and well-being, and it really is tailored and individual support to you and your needs. So we split this into a few different phases. So the first of which is before you even start the program. So we call it pre-bootcamp phase. And this is when you'll meet with your mentor, discuss the application stage, and also discuss what support you potentially might need during the program, just to make sure that we are able to put that support in place and really make sure that you are getting the most out of the program. This is then continued into the actual program itself. So you'll receive dedicated one-to-one sessions, you'll set personal goals, to ensure that you'll stay motivated throughout those 12 weeks, and also support your employability readiness as well. And then we'll move into the placement phase. So this will be after the completion of the bootcamp, and it will be supporting getting ready for interviews, building your confidence up to make sure that you secure employment, along with group and one-to-one sessions as well. So a few common questions that we get is, what if I get ill on the program? What if I need to take a day off here and there? And for us, it is a conversation with your mentor and your instructor, and we'll make sure that there is a catch-up plan. So we'll make sure that materials are online for you to catch up. So when you return back to the program, you don't feel like you've missed out on anything or you've fallen behind. And in terms of financial support, you can continue to receive your benefits alongside the programme, and our mentors will also support you to apply for benefits if that is necessary. If you don't have a laptop or Wi-Fi, we can also help with this as well. We can lend laptops, Wi-Fis if you're unable to access one yourself. And then what happens if you don't get a place on the bootcamp? So we will ensure that we will give you constructive feedback of potentially where, how you can improve for next time, and also signposts for other opportunities. So potentially within the Prince's Trust or any other opportunities we potentially recommend for you. So what do we expect from everyone who enrolls onto one of our programs? So to graduate from the bootcamp, learners must have at least 80% attendance on bootcamp. We are a camera-on organisation, so we think it's really helpful to have your camera on whilst you're going through the programme. It means that you get to collaborate with everyone else on the programme, as well as your instructor as well, and it really helps create that community building experience between everyone. You'll need to be committed to the full 12 weeks of the programme, and also willing to participate in our style of learning. So as I mentioned, a lot of it is interactive with other people on the course. So you may go into breakout rooms, do role plays with people on the course. So willing to engage in this style of learning. Embrace the challenges as well in the programme. We are teaching quite advanced bits within the programme. The programme is quite advanced, so make sure that you embrace those challenges. Let us know when you need extra support and we will be there to provide you with that. In terms of childcare, so make sure that you've got this in place ahead of enrolling onto the programme, and this is something that we will talk with you about during the recruitment phase if that is something that you need. And communicate with us as well. So, keep in touch with us during and after the programme. Let us know how you are doing and make sure that we are supporting you in the best way possible. And, we've got mentors, instructors, and the whole wider organisation are here to help you. So let us know what you need and we'll make sure that we're able to provide that for you. So finally, we're moving on to the placement phase. So this is 6 months following the completion of your bootcamp, and it is dedicated to securing you a role in the relevant field, so within data engineering. The key difference is that this side is driven by you along with our support. So generation graduates start their careers through two different routes, so either self-apply or a generation source opportunity. But we will support you through all stages. So preparation for that application, the interview, and also onboarding as well. So as I say, this is 6 months, so it is a dedicated plan to support you into tailored individual roles. And so it will be one-to-one support, group coaching with our employability and coaches, and also placement managers. So there'll be a full schedule of activity in the first month of the placement phase, along with regular check-ins with your placement manager and also self-directed job searches as well. There'll be a number of different learning supports, including LinkedIn Learning, as well as Graduate Hub as well, to really aid you in that job search. We will also connect you with hiring employers and also set up interviews for jobs as well. And for graduates who are placed during those 6 months, we will support you with transitioning into that work. But for people who are still seeking for roles during those 6 months, we will provide ongoing employability support. So just a bit about our commitment to you. So we will work hard to partner you with employers to secure opportunities for you. So we'll match these as best we can on location, what you need from an employer, and we'll make sure that you are matched up with the best job platforms and also the most relevant roles for you. So we will help you build that confidence, write your CV, prepare for interviews, reflect on the interview feedback, build resilience, and also celebrate your success as well. And then your commitment during the placement phase. So it'll be your job search. So a lot of it is self-apply. So we would ask you to apply for a minimum around 5 jobs a week and complete your job application tracker weekly. So we're aware of how those are going, how we can best support you if you need any additional help during this phase. Good attendance as well with your dedicated employer support officer. So stay engaged, responsive to messages, and also be open to relevant roles as well within a commutable distance, and let us know exactly what you need and how we can best support you during this time. Finally, we're moving on to next steps during the application process and exactly what this looks like. So this is today. So we are currently on our data information session, and so that is today, the 27th of November. We are currently running group task and interviews, so we actually have one available tomorrow if anyone would like to enroll onto tomorrow's group task, and interviews have also commenced as well. The next step after that would be a call with one of our mentors, and this is where you have your first chance to have a chat with our mentors about what support you might need during the programme, any kind of worries that you have about completing the programme, and how best we can help you. We then move on to our selection of the final cohort around the 14th of January, and then offers for the programme will be sent on the 17th of January. So it's typically around about 2 weeks before the start of the bootcamp. And we will have a brief induction with the class, so you get to meet your instructor, your mentors, as well as everyone else on the class on the 29th of January before the programme officially starts on the 4th of February. So next steps and actions. So what exactly does the application process look like? So at first, you will complete your online application. So you'll apply through our website. And as part of your application, there are a few different tasks. So you may well have completed this or be in the process of. The first of which is the Python task, which you are more than welcome to brush up on your knowledge beforehand, watch a couple of videos, refresh any knowledge that you have. And then we'll move on to the group tasks. So as I say, we have begun running our group tasks, and when you reach this point within your applicant portal, you should be able to go on and book your space for a group task. If there's any questions or any issues with that, please do just let me know and I'll be more than happy to help. And then finally, you'll move on to your higher view interview. So I'll go into a little bit more detail shortly about what HireVue is, but it's a pre-recorded video, and you'll need to complete this as part of your application process. And once you have completed that and you're successful in that, we will move you on to that mentor support conversation that I just mentioned. So that is where you'll have a meeting with your mentor and discuss what potential support you might need during the process. And then we'll move on to offer letters and then begin onboarding for the programme. So the main thing I would stress to everyone is keep an eye on your applicant portal, make sure that all the steps are completed until you reach that under review stage. It's only once you reach that under review stage, it means that the ball's back in our court. It's for us to check and for us to progress you through the process. As part of your application, you will need to upload a few different eligibility documents. So the first of which is in regards to your right to work. So if you have a British passport, you can upload a photo of that. It can also be expired if you are uploading a British passport. Otherwise, you can upload your birth certificate along with your national insurance number. If you're from within the EU, you can provide your EU passport along with share code and settled status proof. Or if you're from outside the EU, you can provide your valid residence card. I would just say when uploading a residence card, please can you make sure that you upload both the front and the back of the card as well for us to see. And then you'll need to provide some documents in regards to your current employment status and address. And again, we can accept a few different things for this. So firstly, your latest universal credit statement, your latest bank statement. If you are or have recently been working, you can also provide your 0 hours or fixed term work contract. Or if you recently left a role within the last few months, you can upload a P45. And a bit about the HireVue interview. So as I mentioned, as part of your application process, you will be required to complete the HireVue interview. And there are lots of perks to completing this HireVue interview as opposed to a live interview. It means that you get as much time as you need to prepare ahead of time. You can take some time to think about your answers, do a little bit of research ahead of answering the questions, and also you get to do some practice recordings as well. So there will be a number of different questions and you will be required to record your answer to that and then upload that recording. You get about 6 re-records per question, so plenty of opportunity for you really to perfect your answer. If you think potentially you need to add a little bit more detail to one of your answers, you can re-record it before submitting it as well. So, and it's flexible. You can work around your own schedule. You're not tied to, when one of our interviewers are available and book into one of those slots. You can take it at your leisure. So if you know that you work best in the evenings, set aside some time for the evening to complete that. We also have a full information session around completing a HireVue interview, our top tips as well. So if anyone would like a link to that, please do let me know and I'd be happy to send that across. Perfect. And then a little recap on some top tips. So what are we looking for in applicants for one of our programs? The main one we are looking for is motivation, enthusiasm. Why do you want to work in data engineering? Why are you passionate about data? We want to see that enthusiasm for the course. We're not looking for tons of technical knowledge or previous experience. We want to look for someone who's really motivated in starting a role within data engineering. Competency as well, so you will have to complete the Python coding assessment, so putting code into practice with some small tech projects during the program. So as I say, before completing that Python test, you're welcome to brush up a little bit on your knowledge ahead of time, and also opportunity to benefit generation. As a company, we as an organisation, and a charity, we aim to support high potential people who are struggling to break into the industry. So what in your story shows that you've had motivation to overcome barriers, but also a growth mindset as well. Are you in a place in your own journey to complete a 12-week bootcamp? And this is all things that can be captured in your HireVue interview. So we want to understand your story. Why will you benefit from this program? And ultimately, why would you like a role within data engineering? And that brings us to the end of the information session. So if anyone has any questions at all, please do feel free to put them into the chat function, and I'd be more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, I have put an email on the screen there. So it's our data engineering program at generation.org, which is a dedicated email for this program. So any questions that you have about the program itself or your application, please do send an email through there or put a message in the chat. I'd be happy to help. Well, I'll hang around for a couple more minutes just in case we do have any questions at all. Please do put them into the chat function. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to leave the stream now. This information session will be recorded and it will be uploaded following today. So if you do want to go back on at any point and watch the recording to answer any questions or to recap over anything that I have discussed today, you'll be able to access it with this same YouTube link. So if you favourite it, keep it somewhere handy, you can go back on and watch it again. Brilliant. Well, if no one has any questions, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who has joined today. And again, really look forward to working with you during your application process for our data engineering program. Any questions at all along the way, please do reach out, and myself or any of the team will be more than happy to help. Hi Mohammed, thank you so much for your question. So how do we prepare for the Python assessment? Is there anything that we can review? Absolutely. So I'd recommend looking at a few free resources online. So having a Google or potential basic Python program languages. You can have a look on YouTube as well, just to prepare yourself for this. You know, we're not looking for advanced knowledge of Python, but a basic understanding. And it's really for us to understand where your current understanding is and how we can build upon that during the program. So I'd have a look at some free resources online ahead of completing the assessment. So it is a test. So it's a test as part of your application process. So there are about 10 different questions for you to answer, and you will get a score at the end. So it's a test for us to gauge your current level, to see exactly where you sit. So as I say, you're welcome to do a little bit of prep before, so you are well informed going into it. But it's for us to gauge exactly where your Python knowledge is currently. So there is a minimum pass mark, so we would be looking for, it is around 80% on the course, so anywhere from about 70 to 80%. But if you complete the task and if your score comes back a little bit lower than that, we will get in contact with you directly to discuss that score, potential of completing this test again, if that's something that you would like to do. So it's certainly something that we'll have a conversation with you about. Okay, brilliant. Well, as I say, there is the email address there on the screen if anyone has any questions at all about the program. And you should also all have my email address as well. If you don't have my email address, please do let me know and I'll pop you across an email so you can contact myself directly. But otherwise, I will start to end the stream if no one has any further questions. And again, thank you so much everyone for joining today. Really appreciate you coming along and also asking questions as well. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day and look forward to speaking with you during the application process.